You need to hear a truth most people never want to face. The beginning of a divine calling rarely looks divine. It is not applause, not open doors, not instant recognition. It is isolation. It is loneliness. It is the long, aching silence when heaven stops your momentum, and you cannot understand why. You, the chosen one, have been pulled out of familiar rhythms not to punish you, but to protect you. When heaven interrupts your path, it is never rejection, it is redirection. Listen carefully, because this interruption is not random. You've been feeling it lately, the sudden heaviness, the unexplained fatigue, the way things you used to enjoy no longer satisfy you. People around you can't see it, but something is shifting deep in your spirit. You've been misunderstood. The ones you tried to explain yourself to have called you distant, distracted, strange. They don't see that heaven is isolating you for recalibration. Divine separation always comes before divine revelation. God's chosen ones are not made in crowds. They are refined in caves. The wilderness is not a punishment, it is preparation. The silence you hate is where God reteaches you how to hear His whisper. The rejection you keep reliving is His way of detaching you from validation that could destroy your obedience. This is the divine interruption, the holy pause of heaven that prevents you from walking into traps that your human eyes cannot perceive. When heaven stops you, it is often violent. Plans collapse. Friendships fade. Opportunities vanish. You cry. Why me? But the better question is, what is God shielding me from? Because if you could see what He saw coming, you would thank Him for every closed door, every delay, every divine stop sign on your path. You are not cursed. You are being concealed. Heaven hides its treasures before it reveals them. You have been wrapped in what feels like darkness so that the enemy cannot trace your next move. The delay is a disguise. The stillness is camouflage. And this very moment, this message is not coincidence. It is a divine interception of your timeline. Beloved chosen one, when God chooses someone for something greater, He first makes them invisible to the world. Your friends can't reach you because you've been moved to a different frequency. You're no longer where you were spiritually, and that's why people feel distance. But heaven knows how to find you. The moment you stopped running, God started speaking. This interruption is not meant to break you. It is meant to reset your hearing. You cannot hear heaven at the same volume as the world. That's why God reduced the noise. Every closed door lately, every unanswered call, every quiet night, it is a spiritual mute button pressed by heaven so you can recognize His tone again. You are not behind schedule. You are right where divine timing has placed you. Heaven is not late, it's strategic. While you see delay, heaven sees protection. Something dangerous has been moving against you, and God halted your steps so that the attack would miss. You didn't lose momentum, you gained mercy. Heaven speaks clearly through the words in Deuteronomy chapter 1, verse 30. The Lord your God who goes before you will fight for you, just as He did for you in Egypt before your eyes. That means you are not walking alone. You are being escorted. Every closed door is a shield. Every pause is a barricade of mercy. God Himself has gone ahead of you to face what was waiting in the dark. You didn't see it, but He did, and because He did, He fought for you. So breathe. The storm around you is not chaos, it is calibration. The silence is not abandonment, it is an invitation to intimacy. God is not ignoring you. He is insulating you. The noise of distraction is being cut off so your spirit can tune into divine frequencies again. You are being trained in trust, tested in timing, and taught how to see beyond surface interruptions into the deeper orchestration of heaven. The moment you start embracing divine delay instead of fighting it, your perspective shifts. You'll see that the pause is protection, the loneliness is leverage, and the misunderstanding is ministry. Because when you rise again, and you'll rise wiser, sharper, more anointed, and more focused than ever before. Heaven is clearing your environment before releasing your next instruction. That's why it feels empty around you, because heaven is decluttering your atmosphere. The wrong people, the wrong voices, the wrong opportunities, all are being removed so that divine alignment can find you. Don't resist the pruning. Every cut carries purpose. Every tear is a sign of transformation. This interruption marks the beginning of something greater than comfort. It's the beginning of clarity. God is calling you out of confusion and into consecration. You've been asking for direction. Now heaven is saying, stop moving until you see me move. Obedience in stillness is more powerful than ambition in motion. So here's what you must do now. Stop scrolling. Lift your head. This moment is heaven's appointment with your spirit. Don't rush away from it. Let the conviction settle in. Let the awareness awaken you. You have been chosen for this exact warning because heaven trusts you with the weight of revelation. If this word pierced your heart, it's because heaven meant it to. Type 711 in the comments right now as a prophetic sign that you are yielding to the divine interruption, that you are listening, and that you are ready to wait on God's timing. Like, share, and subscribe if you know this message was for you. Every act of obedience aligns you closer to your assignment. And if this word stirred your spirit and you wish to sow into what heaven is doing, consider giving, because faith that gives back multiplies what was hidden. Heaven has stopped you today not to scare you, but to save you. Be still, chosen one. The warning is mercy. The interruption is love. Something has changed around you. Chosen one, subtly, quietly, almost unnoticeably at first. The air feels heavier. The joy that once came easily feels dimmer. You sense it deep within. Something is moving against you. Something unseen yet strangely near. This is the invisible shift, the moment when the spiritual atmosphere rearranges itself. When light and darkness draw new lines in the unseen realm, and your soul feels the tension before your mind can name it. Do not ignore that sense of difference. Heaven is allowing you to feel the vibration of change so you will not walk into danger unaware. The invisible shift is God's early warning system for His chosen ones. You have been marked in the spirit both by heaven and, because of that, noticed by darkness. Every chosen vessel carries a frequency that light recognizes and hell resents. You are no longer unnoticed. Your obedience has made you visible. There is a cost to carrying light. Every step you take toward your divine assignment sends ripples into the spiritual atmosphere, and those ripples awaken opposition. You wonder why you've been so tired lately, why sleep feels restless, why your thoughts race even when you try to rest. It is not just stress, it is surveillance. The darkness has picked up the scent of your calling. When heaven elevates you, hell evaluates you. The enemy studies patterns, moments of vulnerability, open doors left in the soul. It listens for weariness, watches for distraction, and moves when you drop your guard. But take heart if darkness has marked you. It is only because heaven has already sealed you. You are targeted because you are chosen, but you are chosen because you are trusted. The invisible shift is not meant to frighten you. It is meant to awaken you. God is revealing that you are no longer living at the same level of spiritual consequence. What used to be casual can no longer be casual. What used to be harmless can now become a doorway. The shift requires awareness, because the closer you move to destiny, the narrower the path becomes. Look back over the last few days or even weeks. Notice the signs. People who used to understand you suddenly turn cold or distant. Situations that once flowed easily now feel heavy and strange. A creeping sense of confusion hovers in the background. These are not coincidences, they are signals. The atmosphere around your life has changed. The light in you is attracting warfare, as was written by the apostle in his letter to the Ephesians. Chapter 6, verse 12. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world. This scripture is not poetic, it is prophetic. It unmasks the real battlefield. Your struggle is not with people, not with circumstances, not with failures. It is with the unseen realm that manipulates them. The invisible shift means the war around you has become personal, but so has the protection. You are not defenseless. The God who called you has already armed you with discernment, authority, and peace that cannot be shaken. Discernment, chosen one, is your weapon in this hour. It is the inner knowing that tells you, something is off here. It's the whisper that says, don't reply to that message, or don't go there tonight. When heaven warns, darkness loses its element of surprise. You must learn to trust that inner alarm. The Holy Spirit does not exaggerate, he exposes. Darkness often moves subtly. It does not announce itself with thunder. It seeps in through fatigue, offense, distraction, and compromise. It dresses itself in what looks normal, familiar, even comfortable. The invisible shift makes you feel uneasy in places you once enjoyed because your spirit senses contamination before your mind recognizes danger. That discomfort is protection, not paranoia. When light increases, darkness panics. You have started shining in areas you once struggled. You've been healing, forgiving, growing, and that radiance irritates the enemy. That's why strange resistance appears right after moments of progress. The invisible shift is proof that something in the spiritual realm has registered your growth. Do not be afraid of being marked by darkness. You are also marked by blood, the blood that still speaks louder than accusation, fear, or attack. When darkness identifies you, it simultaneously identifies the power backing you. Your name echoes in heaven's halls, and that sound terrifies hell's agendas. Right now, God is training you to read the spiritual weather, to sense when storms are forming before they break. This is discernment beyond logic. You must learn to detect spiritual pressure before it manifests as natural chaos. When you start noticing this, don't panic, prepare, guard your peace, guard your prayer life, guard your focus. Heaven is calling you to heightened awareness. It is not about fear, it's about readiness. Every time you feel that strange heaviness or sense of off-balance energy, whisper a prayer instead of complaint. You don't have to see the whole attack to neutralize it. Your awareness is already a shield. And now, as you stand in this invisible shift, there are practical steps heaven is prompting you to take. These are not rituals. They are responses, small acts of obedience that keep your light untangled from darkness. First, recognize what is no longer the same. Be honest about what feels spiritually off. The music that once calmed you but now drains you. The conversation that leaves you uneasy. The person who suddenly carries a strange tension when they walk into the room. These changes are not random, they are signals. When heaven raises your discernment, your peace becomes selective. Second, identify the darkness markers. These are subtle imprints that appear when the enemy has brushed near sudden exhaustion with no cause. Emotional confusion after spiritual progress. Temptation that reappears right after breakthrough. Heaviness in places you once felt free. Write them down. A chosen one who documents patterns learns how to outmaneuver them. Third, Respond by realignment, not reaction. Don't fight flesh with flesh. Step back into prayer. Reset your boundaries. Cleanse your atmosphere, both physical and digital. Delete what drains you. Disconnect from what distracts you, and declare that your peace is not negotiable. If this message resonates deeply, it is because heaven wants your awareness sharpened. This invisible shift is not the end of your journey. It's the announcement that your light has been noticed in the spirit. Type 9999 in the comments right now as a prophetic sign that you recognize the shift, that you are awakening, and that you will not fear the darkness. Like, share, and subscribe so that more of God's chosen ones will not walk blind into spiritual storms. Heaven is warning you because heaven trusts you. The invisible shift is not your downfall, it's your graduation. Stand firm, chosen one. The light in you has already been seen. There is a reason your battles intensified this week. Chosen one. You felt it in your body, your mind, your atmosphere, the weight pressing harder, the unexpected resistance, the subtle chaos that stirs right before something sacred. This is not coincidence. This is timing. The enemy has recognized the window that heaven opened for your breakthrough and has chosen this moment to strike hardest. Every chosen soul reaches this crossfire when the promise and the pressure collide. You must understand something vital. Spiritual warfare operates by timing. Hell doesn't waste energy on those who pose no threat. The rise in pressure means your movement is making noise in the unseen. There is a scheduled attack because there is a scheduled blessing. And right now, both are racing toward you at the same hour. That's why the confusion feels layered, the tension sudden, the warfare personal. The enemy studies patterns. He knows your seasons. He recognizes the spiritual calendar written beside your name. Every time heaven positions you for advancement, darkness sends interference. This is the week of interception, the spiritual crossfire where both realms aim for your next step. But you will not fall. Heaven has already foreseen this battle and prepared your escape route through discernment and endurance. Chosen one, do not misinterpret the warfare. What feels like opposition is actually confirmation. You wouldn't be under attack if you weren't advancing. You wouldn't be exhausted if the enemy wasn't intimidated. You wouldn't be targeted if your obedience wasn't disrupting his plans. There is movement around you because there is movement through you. Remember this when you start walking in divine purpose. You step onto a battlefield that began long before your birth. The forces that resisted your ancestors are now threatened by your awakening. But God is raising you as the breaker of patterns, the one who will end generational silence, the one who will carry the fire further than those before you. This is why you feel the crossfire. It's legacy warfare. The invisible war takes shape through daily distractions, arguments that appear out of nowhere, fatigue that smothers your prayer, thoughts that whisper, "You're wasting your time." Don't take these lightly. They are fiery darts designed to wound your focus. The enemy doesn't always attack your faith directly. He attacks your rhythm, your rest, your routine. If he can make you weary, he can make you silent. But if you refuse to quit, you win by standing. As Jesus himself declared in the Gospel of John, chapter 10, verse 10, "The thief comes only to steal and kill and destroy. I have come that they may have life and have it to the full." That verse exposes the agenda. The thief doesn't just want your possessions, he wants your peace, your time, your focus, your spiritual stamina. But Jesus came to restore abundance, fullness of purpose, clarity of identity, unbreakable joy. The battle is about what voice will define your reality, the one that steals or the one that restores. When the spiritual crossfire intensifies, your first temptation will be to panic. Don't. Heaven expects you to remember that divine protection is not the absence of battle, it's survival in the middle of it. God doesn't always stop the storm. Sometimes He strengthens your stance in it. What you call resistance, heaven calls refinement. You are being trained to stand in turbulence without breaking, to move in pressure without losing peace. You are not fighting alone. The host of heaven watches over every step. Angels are assigned to your obedience. Your prayers are not bouncing off the ceiling, they are sounding alarms in heaven's throne room. Every amen you whisper in fatigue becomes a sword drawn in the spirit. You are not losing, you are lasting. Now listen carefully, because this is where many fall. The greatest danger in warfare is not the enemy's power, but your distraction. The battle is designed to pull your gaze away from the promise. When you start focusing on what's attacking you, you forget who's backing you. The goal of darkness is not just to wound you, it's to occupy your attention. Once your attention shifts, your anointing drains. That's why you must guard your focus like treasure. Do not allow every emotion to be an entrance. Not every thought deserves attention. Some attacks only survive if you engage them. When you choose silence over reaction, peace over panic, faith over fear, you starve the enemy of influence. The crossfire loses force when you refuse to feed it. This is not just another hard week. This is your threshold. The warfare always peaks before the promise breaks open. The enemy knows he cannot stop your blessing, so he's trying to stop your belief. If you give up now, he wins by default. But if you hold on, if you keep standing through confusion, something irreversible will shift in your favor. Let this be your strategy. Don't match the attack with fear. Match it with praise. Don't argue with confusion. Anchor in truth. Every time you lift your worship, you rewrite the atmosphere. The enemy cannot dwell where gratitude lives. The moment you thank God in the middle of pressure, the crossfire loses precision. Now, chosen one, you must act. Heaven does not send warnings for you to admire them. Heaven expects movement. This week, practice awareness. Notice when your mood changes for no reason. Pay attention when irritation rises without cause. That's spiritual data signs of interference. When that happens, pause and pray. Recenter your focus. Remember, your reactions are doors. Keep them closed to darkness. And when you feel your energy fading, remember what is happening. You are passing through the narrow gate of transformation. This is how heaven filters strength from noise. Do not let temporary pain make you forfeit eternal purpose. If this word resonates in your spirit, I want you to write in the comments, "I stand firm." It's short, but it's powerful. You're declaring to heaven and to hell that your faith will not retreat. You're saying, even if everything shakes, I will remain. Those 3 words are more than a sentence, they're a covenant. When you type them, you align with endurance. You anchor yourself in divine resolve. So type it boldly. Share this message with those who are also under crossfire. Subscribe if you haven't yet, because this space is a fortress for the called, a place where heaven reminds its warriors that they are not alone. The battle is real, but so is your covering. Stand firm, chosen one. The crossfire proves your crown. Everything looks calm now, doesn't it? Chosen one. The storm that raged a few days ago seems to have quieted. The voices that once accused you have gone silent. Doors that slammed shut have stopped shaking, and it feels still. But be careful, because not every calm is holy. Some peace is counterfeit, some quietness is not rest, but restraint. This is the moment you must discern what kind of stillness surrounds you. The most dangerous trap is not chaos, it's comfort that comes from deception. The enemy knows he can't always overpower you, so he'll try to pacify you. He won't roar, He'll whisper, he won't attack openly, he'll create imitation peace to dull your spiritual senses. And if you're not discerning, you'll settle into a counterfeit calm and call it divine safety when it's actually a spiritual snare. You've been sensing it already. The air feels better, but something about it feels off. Your mind isn't at war, yet your spirit doesn't rest. There's no attack, yet no true release. It's a silence that feels hollow, a peace that doesn't heal. Heaven is showing you that this is not relief, it's observation. Darkness is watching your reaction, trying to see if you'll mistake stillness for completion. This beloved chosen one is the counterfeit calm. It's the phase between the battle and the blessing when the enemy tries to disguise monitoring as mercy. You've entered the quiet before the next instruction. And this is where many chosen ones lose ground, not through rebellion, but through relaxation. The danger of the counterfeit calm is that it makes you stop building. You feel safe enough to pause your prayers, comfortable enough to skip your disciplines, distracted enough to say, maybe I'm okay now. But the calm is a test. Heaven is watching to see if your worship depends on warfare, or if it stands even when nothing is shaking. According to what is revealed in the second letter to the Corinthians, chapter 11, verse 14. For Satan himself masquerades as an angel of light. That verse exposes everything. The enemy rarely appears as darkness. He imitates light. He uses soft tones, familiar comforts, and half-truths to make you think you're in alignment while slowly disconnecting you from your purpose. He offers rest that feels easier than obedience, peace that doesn't require prayer, clarity that doesn't need consecration. But heaven never calls you into false rest. Real peace doesn't silence conviction, it amplifies it. Real rest doesn't numb your spirit, it revives it. The counterfeit calm does the opposite. It wants you spiritually sleepy, emotionally content but quietly disconnected from the pulse of heaven. Chosen one. Hear this clearly, you are not in danger of losing your faith. You're in danger of losing your focus. The trap is subtle. It doesn't demand your rebellion. It simply desires your delay. Darkness doesn't need to destroy you if it can distract you long enough to keep you harmless. You've been trained by storms, now you must be tested by stillness. You survived chaos, but can you survive comfort? You fought through noise. Now can you remain vigilant in silence? Heaven's greatest warriors are not only skilled in warfare, but disciplined in peace. Because real strength is not shown in how you fight, but in how you stand when everything tells you to rest prematurely. Look around your life right now. Notice the strange sense of normal that has settled in. Some of the people who once irritated your spirit are now returning, trying to reconnect. Some distractions you left behind are knocking again. Softer this time. They say, it's different now, but discernment whispers, not yet. Because not every return is redemption, some are rehearsals of temptation. The counterfeit calm often comes disguised as reconciliation. It shows up as opportunity, as comfort, as closure. But pay attention to energy. If peace comes without prayer, it's not from God. If comfort leads you away from consecration, it's not rest. It's regression. You've come too far to be deceived by imitation light. Heaven is warning you now, don't go back to what you've outgrown just because it feels familiar again. You're in the testing ground between transformation and temptation. The silence is sacred only if you keep it clean. This is the time to check your spiritual pulse. Are you praying as fervently as you did during the storm? Are you guarding your spirit with the same focus, or have you relaxed your watch? Remember, many spiritual assassinations happen during false peace. Stay awake. Heaven doesn't give you calm to make you passive. It gives you calm to help you prepare. There are new instructions coming, but only to those who remain alert. The counterfeit calm is trying to lull you to sleep so that divine timing passes you by unnoticed. Stay present, keep oil in your lamp. You are still in process. So what do you do when everything feels calm, but your spirit still senses something unfinished? You lean in. You keep worshiping. You talk to God as if the battle never ended, because the war for your attention never does. Don't lower your guard just because the wind stopped blowing. The enemy doesn't quit. He waits. This stillness you're in is not the finish line. It's the checkpoint. Heaven is assessing if your faith was built on survival or surrender. Those who only seek God in crisis never grow beyond emergency faith. But those who worship Him in calmness, those who seek Him when the world is silent, become unstoppable. So tonight, examine your atmosphere. Ask yourself, is this peace real? Or is it performance if it feels hollow? If it leads you away from prayer, if it makes you comfortable in compromise, then it's not peace. It's a decoy. Return to the altar, even if everything looks fine, because the safest place for a chosen one is not the absence of battle, it's the presence of God. Now, if your spirit feels the truth in this message, if you've noticed the strange quietness that doesn't feel right, respond prophetically. Type 444 in the comments right now. This is not superstition. It's a sign of spiritual awareness. You're declaring that you can see through imitation peace, that you recognize the disguise, and that you choose discernment over deception. When you type 444, you're saying, I'm awake. I won't be fooled by calmness that comes without the Creator. It's your covenant declaration that your rest will be real, your peace will be pure, and your eyes will stay open. Like this message, share it, and subscribe if you haven't. Spread it so other chosen ones won't fall asleep in false comfort. The silence around you is not final, it's formative. Stay alert, chosen one. Peace that isn't pure is poison. Chosen one, the time has come to fight back, not with fear, not with frenzy, but with focus. You've seen how darkness moves in silence, how deception tries to disguise itself as peace. But now heaven is calling you to break free from surveillance, to cut every invisible cord that has been tracking your spirit. The enemy studies patterns. He lingers near your habits, your weaknesses, your distractions. He plants whispers in your fatigue and mirrors your thoughts to make you believe they're your own. That's spiritual surveillance, hell's attempt to watch the rhythm of your light. But hear me, you are not a prisoner under observation. You are a warrior under protection. The God who formed you in secret will also defend you in silence. To break free, you must understand how the tracking works. Darkness doesn't just watch your actions, it feeds on your reactions. Every complaint becomes a beacon. Every fear sends a signal. Every bitterness opens a window for observation. That's why heaven keeps calling you into quiet obedience, because silence in the spirit confuses the enemy's frequency. Chosen one, imagine your soul as a lighthouse. Every time you pray, light bursts from the top of that tower, guiding heaven's help toward you. But when you gossip, worry, or rehearse your pain, cracks form in the glass, and the beam scatters. The enemy thrives in those fractures. He can't dim your light, but he can distort it if you're careless with your focus. Now is the hour to reclaim your clarity. This isn't about paranoia, it's about purification. Breaking the surveillance means learning to live unobserved by fear. It means closing spiritual windows you once left open through words, habits, and emotions that drain your discernment. According to what is written in the letter of James, chapter 4, verse 7, submit yourselves therefore to God, resist the devil, and he will flee from you. That single line carries the entire strategy. Submission is your shield. Resistance is your sword. The devil cannot track a surrendered soul. Every time you yield to God, you vanish from the enemy's radar. Obedience makes you spiritually invisible. The moment you decide to forgive, to let go, to pray instead of complain, you disappear from the line of fire. But resistance requires discipline. Think of your spirit like a garden. The weeds of resentment, pride, or distraction are not just nuisances, they're signals. Every unguarded thought becomes a vine the enemy can trace. So pull them up. Tend your inner soil daily. Guard your peace like it's treasure, because it is. The surveillance breaks when you choose secrecy and righteousness. You don't need to announce your every move, your every pain, your every plan. Some victories are meant to bloom quietly. Let God reveal what He's building in you when it's fully grown. Every hidden act of obedience is a cloaking garment woven by heaven. Right now, your assignment is to disconnect from what drains your discernment. You've been giving the enemy too much access through your attention. He doesn't need permission when you hand him awareness. Protect your focus. Guard your silence. Remember, not every battle is meant to be explained, some are meant to be endured in worship. Think of the eagle soaring above the clouds. It doesn't fight every storm, it rises higher until the noise below can't reach its wings. That's what you must do now. Don't wrestle with shadows, elevate through prayer. Don't argue with confusion, ascend through praise. The higher you go, the less visible you become to what hunts below. And when you start feeling drained again, when thoughts start spiraling and peace begins slipping, pause. Take a deep breath and picture God wrapping His hands around your heart, sealing every crack where fear once leaked. That's what divine covering feels like. That's how the surveillance breaks, not through frantic effort, but through complete surrender. Beloved, understand generosity and faith are also weapons of liberation. When you give, whether your time, your love, your prayer, or your resources, you disrupt the spiritual economy of darkness. Greed tightens chains, generosity shatters them. Every act of giving is a declaration: I am not afraid of lack. I trust the provider. If this message has spoken to your spirit, I want to invite you to respond not with emotion but with action. When you like, it's not for vanity, it's to push light into the digital stream where darkness often drowns truth. When you share, you become the bridge through which another weary soul receives freedom. When you subscribe, you're not following a voice, you're joining a movement of awakening. And if you feel led to sow into this message, to give as an act of faith, do it with the heart of a warrior who understands the mystery of exchange. You're saying, I invest where heaven feeds me. Giving isn't loss, it's planting in sacred soil. When you support the message, you help heaven's frequency travel farther than the reach of fear. But above all, remember, obedience is your most powerful seed. Every time you choose stillness over reaction, every time you pray when you could panic, every time you forgive when you could fight, you are breaking spiritual surveillance. You are becoming the kind of warrior the enemy cannot trace, a mystery in motion, a flame that cannot be mapped. So stand tall, chosen one. Heaven is downloading new codes of protection into your spirit. You are no longer exposed. You are encrypted by grace. The light that once made you a target now makes you untouchable. 3 days. That was all Queen Esther asked for: 3 days of silence, fasting, and prayer. Before she confronted the king, before she exposed the enemy's plot, before she made her request for her people's survival, she withdrew. The kingdom was filled with tension, but Esther chose stillness. She understood what few ever do: some wars are not won by movement but by pause. In those 3 days, she didn't react to the urgency around her. She didn't rush to speak. She didn't run to gather allies or justify herself. She simply stood still before God. And in that sacred stillness, heaven revealed the plan that would unravel the schemes of Haman, the very man who plotted destruction against her people. As was recorded in the book of Esther, chapter 4, verse 16. Go, gather together all the Jews that are in Susa, and fast for me. Do not eat or drink for 3 days, night or day. I and my attendants will fast as you do. When this is done, I will go to the king, even though it is against the law. And if I perish, I perish. That's courage, the kind born not from noise, but from nearness to God. Esther's 3 days were more than a delay. They were divine preparation. Those 72 hours became heaven's courtroom where her obedience rewrote the future of a nation. While Haman built gallows, heaven built strategy. While evil conspired in whispers, heaven shifted thrones in silence. Chosen one, the same pattern is unfolding around you. Something dangerous has been planning in the shadows. But heaven has also been preparing exposure. The plot against you is real, but so is your protection. Just as Esther was chosen for such a time as this, you too have been positioned for divine revelation. The only thing heaven requires from you now is pause. You may feel an urge to speak, to prove, to act, to react, but don't. The enemy wants you reactive because reaction leaks power. Heaven wants you reflective because reflection breeds wisdom. This is your 3-day moment, not necessarily literal days, but a symbolic season, a holy pause before the unveiling. Right now, your silence is strategy. Your restraint is warfare. Every time you hold your tongue when provoked, every time you choose prayer instead of panic, every time you stay still instead of scrambling for control, you're doing what Esther did. You're letting heaven handle what hell hoped to hijack. Many people think revelation happens in noise, but the truth is, divine exposure usually begins in stillness. The plot against Esther wasn't uncovered through shouting, it was revealed in prayer. And when God finally spoke, he didn't just expose the plan, he reversed it. The gallows built for the chosen became the enemy's own downfall. That is the power of prophetic patience. Chosen one. There are moments when God hides you, not because he's forgotten you, but because he's preparing your unveiling. You are being kept in secret so that revelation will have its perfect timing. Don't fight the quiet. There's intelligence being delivered to your spirit that can't survive noise. Maybe that's why you've been sensing the strange stillness lately, the spiritual suspension, where nothing seems to move, yet everything feels charged. That's because heaven is aligning events you can't yet see. Something is shifting behind curtains. Conversations you'll never hear are being influenced by prayers you've already prayed. The Esther moment is always uncomfortable because it feels inactive. You wonder if you're doing enough. You worry you're falling behind. But faith isn't about motion, it's about mastery of trust. True warriors don't fight every battle, they discern which ones belong to God. The book of Esther reminds us that exposure doesn't come through explanation. It comes through elevation. When you rise in obedience, the truth about your enemies rises with you. Esther never fought Haman directly. She rose in favor, and heaven took care of the rest. So today, heaven is calling you into your own 3-day season. It might not be literal fasting or seclusion, but it is a divine command to pause before you proceed. Don't post that message. Don't respond to that accusation. Don't chase validation. There is intelligence in restraint. There is revelation in waiting. You may feel pressure to act, but remember, Esther's breakthrough didn't come from panic, it came from precision. Heaven doesn't need your hurry, it needs your alignment. The quietest people in the room often carry the loudest authority in the spirit. You've been trained to react, but now you're being anointed to pause, because heaven moves best in still hearts. The next few days, watch carefully. There will be subtle signs that truth is rising. Someone's mask will slip. A secret will surface. A door that looked closed will begin to creak open. Don't rush to interpret it. Just notice it. Awareness is obedience in this season. And now, beloved, before you leave this moment, I want you to take a simple sacred action, not grand, not public, not loud. Stop, don't interpret, don't post, don't plan, just pause. When this message ends, put your hand over your heart and breathe slowly 3 times. Let your spirit quiet itself before God. That stillness is not small, it's strength disguised. You're doing what Esther did, creating sacred pause so heaven can expose what hides in the dark. This week, practice small obedience instead of big reaction. Whisper a prayer instead of explaining yourself. Step away from arguments instead of defending your worth. Wait 24 hours before answering what feels urgent. That's not weakness, that's wisdom. You don't need to announce your obedience, just live it. You don't need to react loudly, just listen deeply. The world measures progress by speed, heaven measures it by surrender. Pause, chosen one. Heaven is about to uncover what's been watching you. The fiercest battlefield is not in the sky or the shadows, it is in your mind. That's where every arrow of fear, every whisper of doubt, every illusion of defeat tries to anchor itself. Darkness doesn't need to chain your hands if it can capture your thoughts. For once the mind bends, the body follows. The greatest wars are not fought with swords, but with sentences whispered into your consciousness. You've noticed how fear never announces itself directly. It slips in quietly, wearing the disguise of logic. It says, "You're being realistic," when it's really teaching you to expect failure. It says, "Protect yourself from disappointment," when it's really telling you not to believe again. These voices are subtle, persistent, and they always sound familiar. The enemy speaks in imitation tones, using your own voice to plant his suggestions. But, chosen one, you are not at the mercy of every thought that passes through your mind. You have authority to decide what stays and what leaves. The mind is not a hallway open to every visitor, it is a temple. You decide who enters. The problem is you've been too polite to your intruders. You've allowed fear to pull up a chair in your imagination, doubt to write on the walls of your hope, and anxiety to dictate your schedule. No more. Heaven is teaching you mental warfare, how to take back your temple. The Apostle Paul understood this battle well. He wrote about it not as theory, but as survival. He said that we must take every thought captive to make it obedient to Christ. Because when fear becomes familiar, it becomes a fortress. But when you expose it, it loses power. Fear thrives in darkness, but it cannot survive inspection. Fear never begins as a roar, it begins as a suggestion. What if it doesn't need to show you a monster, it just needs you to imagine one? That's the battlefield. Fear convinces you that potential danger is certain defeat. It replaces what is true with what is terrifying. But faith reverses that process. Faith doesn't deny danger, it declares dominion. Faith says, "Even if I walk through it, I will not be consumed by it." Faith teaches your mind how to speak the language of heaven even when the earth shakes. The Word of God declares in the second letter to Timothy, chapter 1, verse 7, "For God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power, of love, and of a sound mind." Notice that last phrase, a sound mind. That's what heaven is trying to restore in you right now. Your thoughts have been crowded, loud, restless, But God's gift is a mind anchored in peace. Fear tells you to brace for disaster. Love tells you to believe for deliverance. The spirit of fear paralyzes, the Spirit of God empowers. When your mind becomes a battlefield, the most important skill is separation. You must learn to distinguish between what comes from you, what comes from heaven, and what comes from hell. Not every voice deserves an audience. When a thought enters, test its fruit. Does it produce peace or panic, hope or heaviness, conviction or condemnation? Heaven's voice brings clarity even when it corrects. Hell's voice brings confusion even when it comforts. You've been wrestling lately with thoughts that seem like your own, but they carry the scent of sabotage. They arrive in moments of fatigue. They tell you you're wasting your time, that you've missed your chance, that your calling was a mistake. Those are not self-reflections, they are intrusions. They sound like you, so you'll trust them. But if you trace them long enough, you'll find they lead back to darkness. To fight these battles, you don't need louder prayers, you need sharper awareness. Recognize the moment fear speaks and respond instantly with truth. When fear says, "You are alone," answer, "He said he would never leave me." When doubt says, "It's too late," declare, "My times are in His hands." This is not denial, it's discipline. You are training your mind to obey your spirit instead of your emotions. Sometimes your greatest act of warfare will be silence, the refusal to argue with lies. Fear grows through conversation. When you stop talking back to it, it loses oxygen. That's why Jesus didn't debate with the storm. He simply said, "Peace, be still." Authority doesn't always shout, sometimes it stands still. Your mind must become an altar again, not a courtroom. You don't need to prove anything to fear. You just need to keep surrendering everything to God. Every worry, every insecurity, every repeating thought that keeps circling your heart, lay it down. Let your mind rest in His promise. Do you know what happens when you reclaim your thoughts? Your atmosphere changes. Peace begins to expand inside you like light breaking through a closed curtain. You start to see the world not as a threat, but as a mission field. You stop waking up afraid of what might go wrong and start expecting what might go right. Heaven is inviting you to mental renewal, not just relief. Relief is temporary. Renewal is transformation. You don't just silence fear for a moment. You replace it with divine reasoning. You begin to think as God speaks. You align your thought life with heaven's vocabulary. That's why the mind is so critical. It's the steering wheel of destiny. Whatever controls your thoughts will soon control your life. The enemy knows this. That's why he doesn't always attack your body, he attacks your beliefs. But once your mind is sound, your life becomes untouchable. Chosen one, you are learning the secret of stability, to be calm even when the world convulses. This is not ignorance of pain, it's intimacy with peace. You are walking into the kind of maturity that frightens darkness, a mind that no longer flinches, no longer fears, no longer folds. You will still feel the wind of battle, but it won't shake your foundation. You will still hear the whispers, but they will sound distant now, like echoes trying to reach a fortress that's already sealed. That fortress is your renewed mind, guarded, grounded, governed by peace. And one day soon, you will look back and realize the battlefield has become a garden. The same mind that once feared everything now nurtures faith in everything. The same imagination that used to rehearse worst-case scenarios now visualizes miracles. That's the victory heaven wanted all along, not just silence from fear, but the song of faith rising from your thoughts. You are not losing your mind. Chosen one, you are reclaiming it. The moment of reversal is sacred. It's the split second when heaven turns the plot upside down, when what was meant to destroy you becomes the very instrument of your elevation. The story of every chosen one eventually reaches this moment, and it always arrives quietly. No thunder, no trumpet, just the divine sound of justice rearranging itself. What you're feeling right now, that strange stirring of hope amid exhaustion, is the first sign of reversal. It begins subtly, a sense that things are finally aligning, that the tide is shifting, that what once worked against you is losing its grip. You may not see it yet, but heaven has already signed the order. The tables are turning. Look back for a moment. Can you see it? The same storms that wounded you trained your endurance. The same rejection that broke you prepared your discernment. The same people who tried to silence you became unwilling teachers of resilience. Nothing was wasted. Every tear became an ingredient in heaven's plan for reversal. This is what divine justice looks like. It doesn't simply erase pain, it repurposes it. The trap that was set for you will not go unused. It will become the evidence of your triumph. The stone that was rolled against you will be rolled away in front of witnesses. Heaven specializes in poetic redemption. As was written in the book of Proverbs, chapter 26, verse 27. Whoever digs a pit will fall into it. If someone rolls a stone, it will roll back on them. That verse is not a threat, it's a promise. God's justice doesn't always roar like fire. Sometimes it whispers through reversal. He lets the plot mature long enough that, when he flips it, everyone sees his hand. That's what's happening in your life now. The snare set for you has become a stage. But here's what few realize: reversals require readiness. God will not reverse something you still depend on. That's why he delayed the deliverance until your detachment was complete. When you no longer need validation from the place that wounded you, you are free to rise from it. That's when reversal begins, not when the situation changes, but when your spirit does. Chosen one, your enemies are about to watch the harvest of the very seeds they buried you with. They thought they were ending your story. Heaven was planting you instead. The darkness that closed in on you was soil, not a tomb. You have been growing underground, where no applause could distract you. And now, in God's time, the surface is breaking. You are stepping into a season where everything meant for your destruction will start working for your destiny. Every closed door will become a corridor. Every delay will reveal hidden mercy. You will begin to see how perfectly heaven orchestrated the detours. But remember, reversal is not revenge, it's revelation. God is not trying to humiliate your enemies, he's trying to vindicate your obedience. You don't have to prove yourself, you just have to stay positioned. Vindication belongs to heaven. You are not rising to gloat, you are rising to glorify. When Esther walked into the throne room, she didn't speak in rage or arrogance. She simply stood, radiant with quiet authority. Her presence itself was prophecy. That's what heaven wants for you now, to walk in such peace that even those who plotted against you sense the shift. The moment your energy changes, the atmosphere does too. You stop chasing explanations. You stop asking why. You simply start walking in what remains. That's reversal. It's not always about visible victory, it's about inner alignment. When your heart stops bleeding over what's lost and starts beating for what's next, the tables have turned. And sometimes, the first sign of reversal isn't triumph, it's peace. The war ends, and suddenly you don't feel the need to fight anymore. The desire to prove yourself fades. The wound no longer controls your word. That calmness, that quiet reclaiming of dignity, that is heaven's justice taking form inside you. Reversal is not just external, it begins internally. You will know it's here when the same words that once wounded you no longer sting. When you can bless those who betrayed you. when you can pray for those who plotted against you, that's when heaven whispers, "It is finished. Chosen one." Your enemies are about to see something they can't comprehend: your peace. They expected your downfall to define you, but your endurance has written a new chapter. And soon, the evidence of divine justice will speak for itself. But as this shift unfolds, be careful not to hurry the unveiling. Some reversals are best witnessed in silence. Don't announce what God is doing, live it. Don't explain your transformation, embody it. Heaven is writing its testimony through your posture, not your posts. This week, walk with quiet confidence. Listen more than you speak. Observe more than you react. Let the evidence of grace be your language. Those who truly see will understand. Those who don't were never meant to. And now, to mark this moment in faith, I want you to declare something simple yet powerful. Go to the comments and write, "It is turning." Just 3 words, but they carry prophetic weight. You're not just describing what's happening, you're decreeing it. Every time you type it, say it, or whisper it, you're aligning with heaven's momentum. You're acknowledging that reversal has begun, not tomorrow, not someday, but now. When you write "It is turning," you are telling the spiritual realm, what was meant to bury me will now build me. What was used to harm me will now help me. These words are a seed of surrender, not pride, a declaration that the outcome no longer belongs to the enemy's story, but to God's. Speak it softly, write it boldly, live it daily. You don't need to push the wheel, heaven has already set it in motion. It is turning. Chosen one. The hand of justice is already at work. There comes a moment in every chosen one's journey when the light within them stops being a comfort and starts becoming a weapon. It doesn't mean you are at war, it means you've awakened. When you step into awareness, the same glow that once guided you begins to disturb the darkness around you. You start noticing what you used to tolerate. You see through the disguise of things you once accepted blindly. This is the awakening. But the awakening is not about superiority. It's about stewardship. It's not about proving that you see more than others. It's about living responsibly with what you now see. Once your light ignites, heaven expects you to use it wisely, to live clearly, not carelessly, to walk in clarity without drifting into pride. You've begun to notice the world differently lately. Conversations that once fascinated you now feel shallow. Environments that used to soothe you now feel suffocating. That's not you becoming judgmental, it's your spirit recognizing frequencies that no longer match your purpose. Your sensitivity has increased because your assignment has expanded. The more you awaken, the less room you have for the illusions that once defined your peace. But here lies the danger: awakening can breed arrogance if it's not tempered with humility. Many people wake up spiritually but use their awareness as a crown instead of a calling. They mistake clarity for superiority. They begin to speak as if light made them greater rather than gentler. Heaven will never endorse that kind of awakening. It's self-glorification, not transformation. Chosen one. True awakening always leads to surrender. The more you see, the more you bow. The clearer your vision, the deeper your compassion. God doesn't reveal truth to make you proud. He reveals it to make you purposeful. You are not awakened to judge, you are awakened to serve. We find in the letter to the Philippians chapter 2, verse 15, that you may be blameless and pure, children of God without fault in a warped and crooked generation. Then you will shine among them like stars in the sky. That verse isn't a celebration of perfection, it's an invitation to integrity. To live in a way that reflects heaven's light with humility. To stand out not through arrogance, but through authenticity. when you shine like stars. You don't compete with darkness, you reveal its absence. The awakening you're walking through is sacred. It's not just new understanding, it's new responsibility. Heaven is entrusting you with discernment that others may not have yet. You are beginning to see through patterns, through people, through purposes. You are learning to recognize what aligns with God and what subtly resists Him. But remember, light does not gossip about the dark. It simply shines. It doesn't compare. It clarifies. Your job is not to announce that you're awakened, it's to live in such a way that your clarity blesses others instead of condemning them. You will notice how your light affects people differently. Some will be drawn to it, finding hope in your calmness. Others will resist it, feeling exposed in your presence. That's normal. Light doesn't need to apologize for being bright, but it also doesn't need to burn to prove it's real. Be steady, be kind, be firm. When God awakens you, He expects maturity, not noise. Don't try to prove you've changed. Let your consistency prove it for you. Speak less, observe more, act from conviction, not emotion. Be precise in truth but gentle in tone. The greatest evidence of spiritual growth is not how much you know, but how well you love. The enemy will try to twist this season by tempting you to isolation or superiority. He'll whisper, "They don't understand you anymore," or "You see what others can't." Be careful. That's how pride re-enters wearing spiritual clothing. Awakening doesn't mean you're above people, it means you're accountable for what you know. You're still called to humility, to community, to patience with those who are still growing. You are light, but even light bends when it passes through grace. Let that humility soften you. You can be awake and still approachable. You can be discerning and still gentle. You can walk in revelation without walking in rebellion. Heaven's light in you should not make others feel small, it should make them feel seen. Living clearly means living honestly. No half-truths. No spiritual masks. No pretending you don't know what you know. It means refusing to dwell in blurred lines, refusing to speak one thing but live another. Your clarity should match your character. What you say must align with what you are becoming. To live clearly also means to choose peace over performance. You don't need to explain your awakening to everyone. Some won't understand it, and that's okay. Let your presence speak. Let your fruits do the talking. People remember light by how it makes them feel, not by how loudly it announces itself. So down, chosen one, as heaven sharpens your awareness, make a quiet vow to yourself tonight. Live clearly. Stay humble. This is the sacred rhythm of awakening, to see without superiority, to discern without distance. Here is how you practice this truth in daily life. When you wake up in the morning, ask yourself, am I living in clarity today or in comfort? Clarity will sometimes cost you the loss of certain habits, maybe certain relationships, but comfort will always cost you more, the dulling of your purpose. Before you speak, pause, ask, is this coming from revelation or reaction? Let your words be windows, not walls. When someone wrongs you, choose compassion over contempt. Remember, you were blind once too. Every awakening is a mercy, not a medal. And when God shows you something new about yourself, about others, about your path, don't rush to interpret it publicly. Let it settle. Some revelations are meant for meditation, not announcement. Heaven is calling you to a new posture of clarity, to live with transparency but without pride, to be awake but not arrogant, to be aware but not weary. So this is your practice for the days ahead. Live clearly without blur. Walk humbly without boast. See deeply without judgment. No comments needed. No public declarations required, just small acts of daily integrity. Speak the truth quietly. Choose peace deliberately. Love boldly. Because real awakening isn't proven by how bright you shine, it's proven by how gracefully you illuminate others. You are awake, chosen one. Now live like light. Chosen one. What you are stepping into now is not just restoration, it is sealing. Heaven is closing what once leaked your peace. God is wrapping your life in divine protection and marking you again for purpose. You have walked through storms, silences, betrayals, and awakenings. But this moment, this very one, is when heaven finishes what it started. Imagine a craftsman shaping a clay vessel. The fire wasn't punishment, it was perfection. The heat made the structure strong enough to hold glory. That's what God has been doing in you. Every pressure, every delay, every pause was part of the molding. And now the vessel is ready to be sealed not by human validation, but by divine fire. You've reached the place where your calling is no longer a concept, it's a commission. The pain was the signing ink. The perseverance was the paper. Heaven has now stamped your life with purpose. You are not the same as when you began. You are refined, fortified, and crowned with quiet confidence. As was written in the book of Isaiah, chapter 54, verse 17. No weapon formed against you shall prosper. That doesn't mean no weapon will form. It means it won't finish. It means the arrow may fly, but it will lose direction midair. It means your enemies may plot, but their words will fall like paper against armor. Because your covering is not circumstance, it is covenant. Chosen one. Heaven is sealing you not to isolate you, but to insulate you, like wax closing the mouth of an ancient scroll. This sealing preserves what's sacred. You have been written by the hand of God Himself. Your story is His testimony, and no thief can edit what has already been signed in divine ink. But understand, this being sealed doesn't mean being still. It means being secure while moving. The seal of heaven allows you to walk through fire without burning, through storms without drowning, through crowds without blending. You've become untouchable not because you're untargeted, but because you're untaken. And now, heaven invites you to walk forward not as the wounded, but as the witnessed. You've seen too much grace to doubt it now. Every scar on your spirit has turned into a seal of proof. The danger that moved against you has lost its access. Think of it like a lighthouse standing on the cliff. The waves still crash, but the structure no longer fears them. It was built for storms. The light doesn't fight the darkness, it simply stands, shines, and signals safety to others still lost at sea. That's what your life has become, a beacon for those still fighting to believe that survival is possible. You're no longer just surviving, you're shining. You've graduated from pain into purpose, from reaction into revelation. Heaven has placed its emblem upon your endurance. Now, chosen one, it's time to nurture what God has sealed. Protect your peace like a rare flame in the wind. Don't explain yourself to those who can't see the oil on your life. The sealed don't shout, they move with serenity. You don't have to prove your anointing, you just have to walk in it. And if you ever doubt that you're covered, remember this wax only seals what's valuable. You would not be fought this hard if heaven had not marked you as treasure. The season of testing has given birth to your authority. You carry a quiet fire now holy, steady, unmistakable. You have become both message and messenger. When you speak, it won't be with desperation anymore, but with direction. You'll walk into rooms differently, not to be seen, but to shift the atmosphere simply by existing. You've been chosen not just to rise, but to remain. Anyone can be lit for a moment. Few can keep burning through the night. The seal ensures your flame won't flicker out when storms return. And in this sealing, heaven calls you to gratitude not because the journey was easy, but because it was exact. Everything you lost refined you. Everything that left made room for what lasts. You are stepping into a stretch of peace that won't feel fragile anymore. But this message is not just for you, it's for the multitudes waiting to see proof that endurance still works, that obedience still pays off, that faith still fights back. When you share your story, you are scattering light into the hidden corners where despair still hides. So now, I want to ask something simple but sacred. If this message has reached your spirit, don't just scroll away, like it not for vanity, but as an act of agreement, a signal to heaven saying, I receive the seal. Share it not for attention, but because someone else needs to know that their fire is not the end. Subscribe not to follow a person, but to stay tethered to a flow of light that keeps faith alive in a digital wilderness. And if your heart feels stirred, if this word has strengthened you in a way that words can't describe, consider sowing a seed, a donation, however small, as a prophetic gesture of gratitude. You're not paying for grace, you're partnering with it. You're watering the well that watered you. Think of it like tending a flame in a lighthouse. You're keeping the light burning for the next soul lost at sea. Every act of generosity becomes another drop of oil, ensuring that hope keeps shining for others. But whether you give or not, whether you type or not, the real response heaven desires is transformation. Walk out of this moment differently. Smile again. Rest again. Trust again. Don't live guarded, live guided. You've survived the danger. You've outlasted the deception, and now you are sealed, anointed for new territory. The weapons may still form, but they will fail. The storms may rise, but they will bow. The noise may return, but it will break against your peace like waves against stone. You are sealed, chosen one, lit, loved, and untouchable. Chosen one. This is where the message pauses, not where it ends. You've walked through fire, silence, and revelation within these words, but your story continues far beyond them. The voice that spoke to you here is not meant to hold you. It's meant to release you. Take a breath. Let what has settled in your heart remain, and let what isn't for you gently pass. Every soul hears differently. Every spirit awakens in its own timing. So leave this space the way you would leave a sacred room, slowly, quietly, carrying only what resonates with truth. You are not being asked to feel pressured or perfect. You are being reminded that you are seen, guided, and deeply human. You don't have to chase meaning. Sometimes meaning follows you home in silence. When you step away from this moment, let reflection linger instead of noise. Maybe tonight you'll remember a line that softens you. Maybe tomorrow a phrase will echo and make you pause before reacting. That's how transformation works, not all at once, but in gentle ripples. This space will still be here when you need it, like a light left on for travelers returning through the dark. Come back when you feel the pull, not out of obligation, but out of peace. Let this be your quiet benediction. Keep walking, keep noticing, keep becoming. The voice of heaven isn't always thunder, it's often the whisper that meets you when everything else grows still. Carry your light with tenderness. Share it only when it feels natural. You are not required to shine for everyone, only to stay true to what has been lit within you. The rest of your journey belongs to you and to God. Go gently, chosen one. The story continues.